We go. Welcome back to possibly the greatest Alchemist of all time. Anime review, episode number 2. We're reviewing not 2 episodes, but frickin' 7. Yes, 7 episodes. Because I watched 4 last night, and I watched... I watched 4 last night, and actually it's about... Because I remember correctly, I think it was like... I got to like episode 9 today. Yes. Now... Why didn't I get a chance to do a review last night? Well, after I finished my stream and take out the trash, it got pretty late last night. So, wasn't able to record. Nope. Wasn't able to. It was like after 11:30, so no. Wasn't able to. But let's talk about these episodes. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention in the last video, they do show the heroes when they were first summoned. And we kind of go back and forth between in the future because basically it's all 1 year later. And we see that the male hero seems like one of them is like very much protecting the female one. And then later on he becomes a complete dick after basically being trained by this empire for quite a while. And at one point we see him hang out with some girl, ignoring the girl who he's supposed to be protecting. And she's like completely different in the matter. She's not doing any training. It's not showing her doing any training. She just decides to watch everything. Like, oh, by the way, why these 3 people? Why in the world were they summoned? Don't know. Well, they do kind of explain the reason why during the course of the show. Is that they wanted to counteract this one person who was actually someone from the future. Basically, it's Katsure, where... Takuma, I think his name is. Where that's pretty much for it. So... By the way, the 2 girls who showed up in episode 1 and 2, one is named Sophia, that's the elf girl, and the other girl is named Maria, where they're introduced as slaves, though they don't have slave collars. Basically, Sophia has got a curse, and she has trouble with some injuries, and she can't use the fairy magic that she's known for that elves are using in this world. And by the way, in the whole series so far, she is the series' sole elf. And basically, she's there as basically, well, the main character's bodyguard, who is also she is somewhat developing a liking to him. So, he basically, first to get Maria, which was no issue, because he needs somebody to do housekeeping in his new mansion. So, then of course, she has Sophia, which of course, apparently Sophia had many different attempts basically to do a contract, kept getting rejected, but apparently he wants to free her of the curse. And eventually he does later on after some trying. So the way he lifts the curse is that he basically creates a special potion to boost his levels of power in order to use special purification. And also the reason why he got the slaves because he decided to make a toilet. Yes, a toilet. They use purification power. And because of this, they basically solved the sewage problem in this one city, in the city that he's in. And the royal capital is very happy with it, but not the whole empire. Nope, they basically is like, we want him working for us, nobody else. It's like the way that they do it is that it's like they have basically a stick up the rear end because they want all the light magic users for themselves. So the king of the country that the main character lives in is like, screw you, leave now before I basically send my knights to kill you. And of course also he makes a special carriage, which he has to get another girl, a fox girl, who especially in magic, to help build this carriage. Also, Maple evolves. So he sends basically her to a space dimension, and then she grows like a top half of a human form, and she gets this pretty much keeps this for the whole series. Then later on we have her basically where they form another contract with another. We see like a couple more contracts formed with other creatures. First is with a monster horse, which Maple is the one that finds the thing, and like she tries contacting her master, but she thinks he might be too distracted by the wood. It turns out it was actually her webbing blocking it. Because he does mention, that her webbing basically was like her mind was going down, so he basically find her. And eventually, at one point, he's able to send the horse to another dimension, but it was actually causing 100, so he could basically, thanks to Sophia using his magic to search his mana to find her and get the horse out of the dimension, create a new dome, and eventually he's able to heal the horse, no problem, and of course give her the name of Kafia, I think the name of the horse is. Yes. So later on, they also get a golem, whereas they actually tame it by simply coming across it, and also they also get before they get the golem, they have to come up with an official party name. It was actually something they established in episode 8, and they call it Winza Nyla, basically named after the goddess, basically who gave his power, which kind of a smart idea. And from what I can tell, she has some immediate reaction to the fact that he named his party after her. And she was neutral. Apparently, is also by episode 9, there's aspects of the other goddess basically coming about. This, but I think she doesn't exist. Yeah, doesn't exist. And the way the Church of Iron Light works is that they are like complete dicks. It's like they demand tribute, while the Church of Creation basically just demands that small donation, and that's it. And of course, also he meets with the Marquis, and then eventually meets the King in these episodes. The characters itself, basically, he builds like 2 characters overall. We see over the course of 9 episodes. First one for himself, so he doesn't have to keep borrowing one, which is a smart idea. And then he builds a second one for the King himself, which of course the King is very happy to receive one. And he also proceeds to have it where his visit to the capital before him is deemed a classified secret, because he basically wants to protect him because how good for his country is. And also back, he's cooped up in his shop for a while. At one point, the Holy Empire gets so desperate to get their hands and possibly to murder him, so they send assassins to his house. And look at his able to do not much of a problem. Of course, Maple and him are temporarily immune to poison. Everyone else basically unconscious. So then they contact the guild, which before they named the party, basically had the guildmaster toss them around. Eventually got the name. So they got him arrested, and apparently they weren't exactly committed suicide because they never got a chance to. And basically, in the whole thing with the main character's story, is we build up to the summoning. It's like we build up to it. It's like it's kind of like a weird chronological order. You can say that. Because over the course of these episodes, it seems like we're progressing quickly over the course of a whole year. There's some minor time skips, but it doesn't really hurt the series at all. At one point, they say it's been like 6 months, maybe, at least close to I think they say by episode 9, it's been close to a year since he first arrived in that world, because they're preparing the summoning ritual, which is stopped by the goddess herself. Yes, so a couple times he basically meets her. Like, the second time, basically, he's like, next time, bring me an offering. And she likes sweets. I'm thinking she likes sweets. How is she maintaining her very good figure? Yes. I'm trying to think, was there anything else? Lion Fang, a lot of times seems like they're in need for missions. They're basically just gone. Like another commissioner or somebody just out of town. So eventually I was introduced to basically one of the members of the group. I think it was the leader, who was like a friend of his, and Maple proceeded to tie him with webbing. Yeah, not the only one, but great 7 episodes. I love these episodes. So now I'm gonna say these episodes are really good. So that is pretty much a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up, basically, we have is a comic corner. I tried to do one of these yesterday, but I just did not have time to. But now I kind of a little bit do. Okay, thanks, you. Bye.